not that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 996. Oh, we're excited about today's show.
Oh, we are excited about today's show. We've essentially done the entire podcast just in planning. Did you hear that? We planned out something and what we were going to talk about beforehand.
Oh my gosh, usually it's chaos. It's KY. No.
Broadcasting live from KOS.
Where's that?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's the name of the show. It's Mike Matthews. That's Hayley Thesemi right there.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 996. Today we have Bandsmutations. We're going to talk about Kansas, and it's the return of that. Why are people stopping 75 feet away from the intersection? Is this some brand new way to change the lights faster? I'm seeing everybody doing this. I even saw it being done by the police. Is this a new way of people avoiding each other?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, I don't want to stop my car right next to you, brother. That would mean that you can look at me.
Mike's
Oh, wait, I tinted my windows.
Daily
And I never leave my home.
Podcast.
I'm a shut-in, like the rest of the society. Who are you? Who am I? Who?
Anyway, are you talking about how they stop like way behind the line?
Yeah!
Yeah, that never happens. Like when I'm out and about because I'm trying to cross crosswalks, and they like pull right on the crosswalk, and I have to like walk around them while staring at them with malicious intent, and they're like,
Weird.
yeah, no, they're always right in the middle of the crosswalk when I'm trying to cross.
So your aura is causing them to go into the crosswalk. My aura is causing them to park 5,000 feet away from the line.
Well, they don't see my aura, and they don't feel my aura because I'm like on the side waiting to cross the crosswalk, so I'm farther away. And then they try to pull up to the line, but there's so much glint and glare from your head that they can't see where the line is and stop way back.
Why is there glint and glare from my head?
You're bald.
Oh, I thought it was because I was Jeebus. Okay. I have a Jeebus complex. Now, look who just walked in. Let's bring the characters in real quick. Look who just walked. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
Hey, it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
I'm really excited y'all gonna be talking about Kansas today on Bandsmutations. We used to rock out to them all the time because we was rednecks living in a trailer park. And I played the fiddle. I tried to play along with Kansas because all we are is dust in the wind.
That's very existential of you.
Very existential.
I don't know what that means, but I'll have a plate of eggs. Essential. Is that an omelet?
No.
There should be an existential omelet. I would pay to go to a breakfast place and buy an existential omelet.
I would too. That sounds good. And eggs are good for my hair. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh boy, I'll cut you. Hayley.
It's like just your intro now. Do you even know what that means?
I mean, I will cut you with my knife and you will die.
You're evil,
I see.
Brewmaster.
He is evil.
I know. I need to change my ways.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we've had an existential conversation and a conversation about life and death.
Speaking of changing
Combined.
our ways, we have a segment.
We have a segment. And by the way, you can hear all the past podcasts and see the podcast pictures and whatnot all at mikesdailypodcast.com. I didn't plug that last time. And we're still trying to remember what that Utah state was.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that they were trying to build Zion, but that's the city, not the whole area.
I want to say it was like Westeret or Westet or
Westerado.
And then also, if you want to help us out through Amazon, because of all the hard work we do to bring you this wonderful podcast, all you got to do is do your shopping on Amazon through mikesdailypodcast.com. There's a little link. If you use that, then we get money and everyone's happy. And then there's also the PayPal if you want to become an Inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster, which was a much better movie than the latest Tarantino movies, or I'm being told that.
Oh.
And all the Cafe Anyway characters will say you a special MP3 for the hello to you. That's all at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com and the myriad of other places to Westerette. I want to say that was Westerette. All right, here we go with the segment Bandsmutations.
Mutations.
For all of you youngsters out there that listen, because we know there's so many youngsters, this is like their...
We have one listener, and yeah, she's 20-ish.
So she may not know what the song, who they are, and so let's play their big one, huh?
Yeah.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Yeah. Everybody loves this song in the whole freaking world.
Right.
Steve Walsh and just a bunch of other guys.
Steve Walsh and Livgren? Carrie we're good at this.
I have it right here. Don't worry, I'm going to save you. Carrie Livgren, yes.
Aha, see?
Guitars, keyboards, synthesizers. The original lineup was all the way back in 1969. Lynn Meredith, Don Montre, Dan Wright, and Carrie Livgren. Now, what's interesting, and what this segment, Bandsmutations, is all about, is all the interesting bands that these bands turned into at some point, and then kind of reconvened again with Kansas. So the other big song,
Dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind.
and you should see this video because you get to Steve Walsh, see Steve.
Old song.
You get to see him in his big frilly pirate shirt. I don't want to wear a pirate shirt.
What's interesting is those two are on their biggest albums.
Yeah.
It's Point of No Return, and
That's Point of No Return.
yeah. All right. So this is 1977 Kansas. This is their heyday.
Yeah.
This is when they they were big with Carry On. You know, Carry On
Yeah.
My Wayward Son, which is their previous album, Leftoverture. This is like they were living the life. Joe Walsh, everyone loved Joe Walsh. His blaring vocals and the keyboard work. We're watching the video right now, and it's pretty trippy. It's definitely a 70s, 60s video.
Yeah.
And the personnel had changed at that time as well, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, because most of the people that you talked about,
Yeah.
I think it's just Steve Walsh and Carrie Livgren that were there.
Wow.
So they had, bunch of people because they had complex instrumentals, so they needed people that were playing violins, synthesizers, just working like their effect pedals and stuff. So the lineup at that point was Steve Walsh, Robbie Steinhardt, Carrie Livgren, Phil Ehart, or Ehart, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Dave Hope, who did bass, and then this guy named Rich Williams, which is a boring name.
How did you get into Kansas? Because you're so young.
How did I get into Kansas?
Yeah.
I came out of the womb singing, "Carry on my wayward son. Don't you cry no more. Go!" Pulled out an electric guitar.
But then you also have that connection because you were raised by like really staunch Christian people and they had their Christian phase.
See, I didn't find out about that until way later. But yes, that's true. It was a little bit later. I think it was 1980. Let me double check that for you.
Yeah, they did go on a Christian bent.
Starting in 1982.
In 82?
Yeah, and how it happened was around that time, two members of the band converted to Christianity. And that was Carrie Livgren, who was one of the founding members and was the guitarist.
Yeah. And
keyboard player. And then Dave Hope as well, the new guy. He wasn't the new guy at that point.
But then they brought in John Elefante.
Yeah. And why did they bring in John Elefante? You take this one.
Oh, yeah, because Steve Walsh left the band.
Yeah, Steve Walsh was like, I'm not going to stick around for a bunch of Christian nerds.
So then they had this phase Play the game tonight.
It's not that much different musically. That's the thing. It was just their themes, their musical themes.
And he kind of has that Steve Walsh sound.
A little bit, because they needed someone to fit that. John Elefante.
John Elefante got together with his brother, too, and had a band called Elefante that was on the soundtrack to, I want to say, like, Footloose or something. But John Elefante stayed with them for a little while. And John Elefante also helped produce one of your favorite bands, Petra.
This is not my favorite band. We're staying on this Christian road here, as it were. This is what Christian music actually sounded like in like the 90s and 80s. This is the stage that Christian music went through. Like, you turn on K-Love and Air One and Today, and you get like, Jesus is great, I'm sitting here waiting for God. Or like Toby Mac, which is like, yo, I'm sort of a rapper, but I was a lot more popular in the 90s. That kind of stuff.
But this was them.
This is...
It sounds almost kind of progressive rock, 80s progressive rock.
It's because it is. This is Petra. They're a hard rock band from the 80s and 90s that was also 100% Christian.
Wow. And this video is hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
They're singing their butts off and they're by the beach, and it looks like Northern California and rocks, and somebody's waking up and having a crisis of the soul.
So that was John Elefante with them, right?
Yeah.
That helped to
or
form that?
he produced them, but I also have Mastodon, which is this is what he actually sang with them quite a bit.
They were also Christian.
Really?
I believe so.
Huh.
Not like modern day Mastodon. There's two Mastodons. There's Mastodon, which is this band.
Uh-huh.
But then if you hear like the band Mastodon, you're gonna think like the metal band. That's pretty popular nowadays. So it's important to make that distinction.
I see. That's where I was getting confused.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. There you go. Mm-hmm. Now, meanwhile,
while this was all happening, Steve Walsh was out of the band.
Yes, Steve Walsh is gone, but he is doing his solo stuff, like Schemer Dreamer.
Don't want them to know. I don't think I like the scheme. They use abuse and I paid my...
Oh, it's so jazzy! Oh, it's so jazzy! He actually did this 2 years before he left Kansas.
Oh, really?
Like a year or two before it was when it was released. It was in 1980 that this was released.
And this is Steve Walsh, not Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh is with the Eagles. He's
right.
And he also had that song, Life's Been Good to Me So Far.
Yeah.
This is Steve. I don't think they're related.
I don't think so either.
I've never heard that. But yeah, okay, so he was still with Kansas at this point.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, they were all making solo albums. Kerry Livgren was making solo albums as well.
That's right. He had AD was the name of that one.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he did AD until later.
So I'm a little behind the race.
Honestly,
they kind of sound the same.
Sound very similar. Like, you can tell they were all working together.
This is AD, and it sounds just like Steve Walsh's solo stuff and like Kansas.
Oh, same year. I mean, not this specific song. This specific song, this is on what, the Prime Mover?
Prime Mover, 1988 it says.
Yeah, 1988. But the first the first AD album, which is this band, was in 1980, the same year.
I had no idea that they had a band called AD.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so this is so much fun, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Now, somehow, I guess Steve Walsh created Kansas again.
Well, no, first, back, because he left for Vinyl Confessions, and he formed up with the Deep Purple bass player, or the ex-Deep Purple bass player, who I had his name, and then I closed it, so I'm going to get that.
Wait, I'm going to edit this part here. Vinyl Confessions, was that one that we had? I think I might have closed that one. That was one we were going to do, right?
No, you played it. Vinyl Confessions was the Christian band. Or the Christian album.
Oh, that was the play the game tonight. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
End of edit here somewhere.
Okay. The ex-Deep Purple bassist by the name of Glenn Hughes, who also worked on Steve Walsh's solo works.
Oh.
And their band
Was called Streets.
Streets. Yep, this is Streets.
Streets. I didn't even know he did Streets.
Yep, and this kind of sounds like Point of No Return. A little bit.
Yeah. And this is
Now,
it.
interesting.
It should go.
It doesn't particularly sound like his vocals.
Yeah.
And so it was him, Steve Walsh, the guy from Deep Purple, Billy Greer, and then this other guy called Mike Slamer. I don't know who he is.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but he's there.
Okay, so
He exists.
Streets features those guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went back to Kansas again.
Yeah, they had. So they were actually still charting pretty well with their Christian albums. They had two of them, Vinyl Confessions and Drastic Measures, which came out the next year, which still had the themes and such. They started to think that this whole Christian thing was kind of weird. Because Christian bands were getting, or Christian fans were getting really into it. They were putting like lyrics onto tracks and handing them out, things like that. I mean, it was big.
Wow.
And it was Carrie Livgren, one of the people who originally said, "Let's make Kansas a Christian band," that said, "This is very strange. I don't want to do this Christian thing anymore." So
I want to rock again.
yeah.
I want the devil to rock with me.
After 1983, when their Drastic Measures album was released, the only thing that was released for Kansas for a few years was a best of album.
Oh, which got really popular.
Yeah, of course it did.
I remember a lot of people had it.
Mm-hmm.
And the cassette. Everybody was having the cassette. Then there was another incarnation of Kansas that featured Steve Morse of the Dixie Dregs. And the Dixie Dregs is like an instrumental fusion band. And he...
Oh, yeah. Get jiggy.
But here, there's like fiddle in here, kind of like Kansas. So I think you could see there was that sort of influence. Wow. I know people that love this stuff.
It's great. I love it.
Like real musicians just dig this stuff. They're like, whoa, man, the drummer kicks butt. So he joined Kansas, and they had their last charting song on the charts with All I Wanted.
Yes, but there's something else very important about this return to Kansas again. This is the album Power.
I had this on vinyl.
There's a few people that joined in. Most of the people that were around for Drastic Measures and such were still with the band. They added Billy Greer, which we did talk about. That's the ex-bassist of Deep Purple. And because, as appeared to be a theme with bands in this area of time, if Billy Greer was around, Steve Walsh came back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they were in Streets together.
They were in Streets together, and they were in Steve Walsh's solo albums together.
That's right. So that it all comes back around. Now I hear Steve Walsh left the band like last year, 2014, not permanently, but
Yeah, they're still around. That's crazy.
I love this keyboard part.
Yeah.
I think that's him. This video is so freaking 80s with all the acid wash jeans
And slow motion walking.
Yeah.
And like sketch animation.
Yeah, a la
Aha.
There's a Take on Me. Okay, Kansas didn't turn into Aha.
I wish.
Oh, we'll have to do Aha on a Bandsmutation.
I've always pictured Aha as just an island. They got really big and they just stayed really big.
That's right. And there's somewhere an island, not in the U.S., because America, all we know about Aha is Take on Me.
All we know about there.
But I love The Sun Always Shines on TV. But
Yeah. Well, that's the same album. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's all the same album.
Hunting High and Low.
This is a spoiler, so for if we ever do a
Oh, we're doing another Bandsmutations.
If we ever do an aha.
Oh, yeah.
But they are in the top 40 grossing bands of all time.
What?
They have made so much money because people love them
All
outside
around the world.
of the
Yeah.
US.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm happy for them. I did see online on YouTube they were singing. There was like some concert they did like 2 years ago, and the crowd was huge, and they were just screaming, "Aha!" It was funny. Shall we go outside of Cafe anyway? We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast, and we're Podcaster Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Mock that rock. That was great. I love Kansas. I love Dixie Dregs.
Do you like Petra?
Petra was great because they had long hair and they believed in Jesus.
That's two true things.
Mike, I have long hair. I believe in Jesus. Amen. Where's my hat? We've taken her hat somewhere, and I'm wearing it. I looked because my head was so shiny and blinding people, and they weren't stopping anywhere near the intersection.
It looks good on you. Oh no, the video's going to autoplay.
Oh no!
Oh no!
What is this
What is
song?
it doing?
It's. Oh wow! Relentless by Kansas. This must have been. I wonder what year this was.
Audio Visions. That was right
doesn't-
after Point of No Return.
Oh, really?
That was 1980, 1981.
It's got this funky robotic cover, but Kansas always had that logo where you take the letters and they're all like blocks, like that you would when you were a kid that you stuck in the Woody,
Yeah.
the thing, the squares and the round holes.
Yeah, except they're like, half circles and stuff.
And then they put like a little squiggle to make it look like a K or an A or an. I love that.
Yeah, it's good. When your band name is also your distinct band logo, you did pretty well.
We need to start a progressive rock band.
I know. Can we make it more like Supertramp?
Yeah, totally. That's another band. Well, they didn't really turn into anything. They
Yeah.
just were always Supertramp, and then Roger Hodgson did his own stuff.
My radio instructor in college was one of the people who actually discovered Supertramp.
How do you meet these people?
He's just working at Ohlone College, and he's got like a plaque up on his wall that is like whatever that, I don't remember the name of the album, but it's the one that's like the black starry cover, and then there's the Great.
Oh, that's the one that's got Crime of the Century.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
So he's got that up there as like a plaque. Basically, like he's the one that helped get it big.
That's insane.
I know.
Oh, I forgot to say that I saw Kansas and Alabama. Did I mention that? No, I
You mentioned it before
in our pre-interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama. I lived there for 2 years at that did that country station. They block off downtown Alabama, and they call it Spring Jam, and they put a big fence around downtown, and they have 4 or 5 stages going, and it's all country. It was like Joan Jett wore. So there's rock, country. Jars of Clay was there, so Christian rock, and then Kansas was playing, and I was telling Hayley that they did like a Beatles song, Day in the Life. Kansas did, but Steve Walsh was up there. Oh, and Edwin McCain wasn't with Kansas, but he was on his own stage doing I'll Be Better When I'm Older.
I'll be the worst song on this podcast.
That's what I've been trying to. I didn't get to talk about my trip to San Francisco, but I'll do that maybe the next show, which will be the last show of 2015.
Spoilers, there was peers involved.
Peers and peer pressure.
But not like people similar to him, because we have no friends.
I'm getting sick of John Legend. There was a time I was John Legend's biggest champion, but now I'm getting tired of hearing him go. He doesn't like the word door. He doesn't say door. He says door.
Really?
You know when he sings, and now he's
Yeah.
on that song with Meghan Trainor.
I don't even like Meghan Trainor at all.
They sing that song, and I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose you. I mean, it's a catchy as heck song. It's probably going to win awards, but he's everywhere. John Legend, good for him. And then he's having a baby, so good for him.
Oh, good for him, yeah.
With that hot model woman that's on that lip sync show. I forget her name. Hey, Hayley, I can't remember everything.
That's why we did research before this show, and we still had to scramble to look things up.
I literally had to open up 15 YouTube screens to do all that. And YouTube's probably going to ding me on this show and tell me to remove like half the songs, but whatever.
Yeah,
idiots. Damn Google.
So it may not be on YouTube.
I'm going to put it on YouTube. F 'em. Hey, Hayley, the podcast picture today, which is where we were going, is of me, because I'm a total narcissist jerk. Thanks. And it was when I went walking over at the Fairmont Ridge in Podcastro Valley, and you can see San Francisco over my shoulder. It's kind of off in the distance. But it was such a beautiful day, I had to take a picture. And occasionally I put a picture of myself on, because the name of the show is Mike's Daily Podcast, and Hayley doesn't like to be photographed.
It's true.
But Hayley, you were a beneficial, quintessential part of today's show.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this show, please tell all your friends, because we are languishing in obscurity.
Currently. We can do it, guys.
And I want to say how much I love that music is so unifying. It can bind people that are bald. It can bind people that are coffee stirrer, art maker people. What did you do? You didn't make art out of that coffee stirrer today.
I didn't know. I was just chewing it.
Just chewing it? Because if you saw last podcast picture, it was Hayley's artwork with a coffee stirrer.
No, this was fun. I hope you somehow learned something. You know, even if you didn't learn anything, I hope you got to hear music because you're not listening on YouTube.
And maybe you heard some of the songs that we kept really short because YouTube only dings us when the song plays over 30 seconds.
Right.
And if Steve Walsh is listening, you're a god, and so are you, Carrie Livgren, and John Elefante, who, by the way, started the Sound Kitchen, which produced a bunch of like country acts and Faith Hill and whatnot.
And Bob Hope. Dave Hope.
Bob Hope, we love you too, Bob Hope in heaven.
Dave Hope, you have a silly name.
Okay, that's a good place to stop. Or is that weird redneck guy going to show up again like at the end of the last show?
Let's hope not. What's happening next show?
Next show is the final show of 2015, and we will have a special review of 2015, and we will hear from the wonderful Madame Rutabaga Valentino Bison-Bentley.
So we won't be able to get to 1,000 at New Year.
No, but I think on our New Year's party we'll record something for the 1,000. Yeah. Well, we'll make it to, I guess we'll make it to 999 maybe.
I think so, because what, it's 996
today.
6.
Ooh, we might not.
No.
We're going to get darn near it, though.
We're going to get close.
Yay.
It's coming up.
Thanks for listening.
Woo! Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!